Hello, it's Jess. First of all, I just want to say sorry for the sound of my voice and for my appearance. I'm quite ill at the moment and also depressed. And I'm also sorry if you can hear the fan in the background. It's hot as balls outside, so I'm afraid turning it off is not an option. I don't know if I'm ever going to post this video anywhere or if I'm just going to keep it for myself. Chances are I'm probably just going to keep it for myself to refer to if in the future I find myself questioning my decision. I think it'd be a good idea just to kind of have this as like a record of where I was at when I made the decision, if that makes any sense. I'm also aware that I'm looking at myself and not into the webcam, but I'm not a YouTuber. It's all good. It's fine. I'm sure you'll survive. Anyway. So, and also if this doesn't go well, I'll just write it instead. But I thought it made more sense to record it. So I've got a list that I've made, just kind of like jotted down some thoughts. And essentially what I wanted to do was just kind of go over some of the reasons that I'm shaving my head or that I'm having my head shaved. Because this time tomorrow I'm going to be one bald bitch. Like, I'm not going to have a lot of hair at all. Bear with me, sorry. I think I'm just going to keep my water with me while I'm doing this. But yeah, like there's a whole host of reasons why this is something that I've decided to do and why I've decided to do it now. But I'm aware that it's a pretty big decision and there's a strong chance that in the future I might look back and think, why the fuck did you do that? Like, what were you thinking? And so I just figured like having something for me to look at and to go, that's why I did it, and no, I don't regret it, would probably be a good idea. And so I'm just gonna go by them. I've got just like a rough order. Just gonna get started. So the biggest thing, I guess, would be like, regardless of the future, whether I end up colouring my hair again, whether I just grow it out and stick with wigs, whatever ends up happening. I think this is the best thing I could do for my hair right now, for several reasons. So I've been colouring my hair for years, and there's been lots of times that I've cut it short and like cut off a bunch of damage, and there's been times when I've kind of dyed it dark and just sort of left it alone for a while and let it kind of recover a bit. But I haven't actually had my fully natural 100% just my hair straight out of my head, the colour it like is naturally, this very dark brown, since I was about 9 or 10 years old. From the age of about 11, I was getting like foils, and then I started dyeing it black, which kind of reverted almost back to my natural colour. But it was damaged from the processing of like dyeing it black, especially with box dye, which I did sometimes. I'm really sorry about my voice. I hope that you can hear what I'm saying. But yeah, like I'd really like to know what my hair actually looks and feels like when I just leave it alone and let it grow. And yeah, and like I think it was April last year, or like I'm pretty sure it was the end of March. I kind of measure time using my hair colours. But I had like a bunch of hair cut off. I had it cut up to about here. My hair grows really quickly. And yeah, and it felt a lot better after that. I cut a lot of damage off, but it's still really dry, and like it's not damaged as such, it's just dry. It just doesn't feel nice. And I think, presumably, when my hair just grows straight out of my head, it'll be pretty soft. And not only that, I'm hoping that I get back some of my old curls, because when I first started puberty, I used to have this gorgeous curly hair. As a kid, I had straight hair, but it was once I hit like 11, maybe, I had really nice curls. And when I left it alone, when I wasn't like frying it with bleach, it was like when I had my black hair, and it like faded back to my natural brown. It wasn't too damaged, and I had these lovely like little corkscrew curls. It was really pretty, and if I could get that back, I would like that. I don't dislike the texture and like the wave pattern of my hair naturally, but it's pretty inconsistent. Like, I never know what it's gonna do. And yeah, I'll, wash my hair and let it air dry, because I don't like to damage it, if I can avoid it. And it'll be really pretty for like a day, and then I'll brush it, and it'll go like poof out, and it'll look really silly. Or, sorry. I'm sorry, that was disgusting. Or, I won't brush it, and then it'll get matted and it'll look like shit, which is kind of what's going on here. Yeah, this is just a mess. Yeah, I just feel like, regardless of what I end up doing in the future, whether I just leave it alone, whatever, this is the best thing I could do for my hair right now. Second, I'm getting kind of bored of all the different colours, just kind of having, like, you know, the funky colours. I like having funky coloured hair, don't get me wrong. I'm just a little over trying all of them. Like, I've tried most of the colours that exist in the world at this point. And, it gets a little boring after a while, I've got to be honest. And, I'm sorry, I'm saying a lot. I'm not used to doing this, but yeah, I've gone through them all. It's sort of like, okay, I could keep doing this, or I could do what I know I should do for the sake of my hair and just wear different coloured wigs. That way, I could try loads of different colours, and there's no, like, commitment, and it'll be Daijobu. It'll be great. Especially since this was originally, like, this really, really cute, like, opalescent rainbow vibe, and it was really pretty. But obviously, as you can see, it's faded to, like, a fucking, like, bullshit grey, green, yellow, brown. Like, she's not looking good. She's looking bad. So I'm gonna put that to rest. There's also, I've had over the past couple years, it's ever since I had my fringe cut in. Normally I wear this like a full fringe, but I'm depressed. And it's all going to be shaved off in less than 24 hours, so what is the point? But I digress. I had a couple of bad haircuts, or inconsistent haircuts. Like, people would cut my fringe in, but I don't know if it's just because there's not a lot of, like, alternative folks around here. It's like they don't understand, like, how the sort of short, they call them tough bangs, but obviously I'm not tough, but, like, you know what I mean, that typical, like, Tumblr girl look. It's like that no one really seems to understand it, and, like, they'll be like, oh, you want it shorter? And I'm like, yes. Yeah, I want it shorter. Could you do that for me? But then, like, they'll leave the sides, and, like, I keep having, like, what is this bullshit? What is that? You know, like, it's crap. Or, like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's part of my fringe. I don't even know at this point. It's nonsense. It's bullshit. And, like, I'll grow it out where, like, it's either someone's cut too far into my hair or they haven't cut in far enough, if that makes any sense. And then it'll just happen all over again. And it's like, bitch, let's just start again. Let's just do a complete overhaul. Yeah, probably for the best. Okay. What are the other ones? Just to clarify, I'm not doing this to kind of, like, justify it. It's more like, I know that there's going to be points in the future, excuse me, where I'm probably going to think, why did I do that? My hair is so short. I want long hair. I regret this. And I want to, like, get that future Jess and be like, hey, you did what you had to do. So, another thing is, like, honestly, the convenience. Like, I'm real depressed, and my hair is just not a priority for me right now. There's just other things I'd rather be spending my time on. And also, just, like, it's not even necessarily a mental health thing either. I just want to be using my time on other things, not my hair, you know? If I can just pop on a wig, that's so much easier. Or just, you know, just be my bald ass self. So yeah, I am quite looking forward to that, not having to worry about it, because I love dressing up, but I'm not a very high maintenance person. I don't actually, I'll go into this a little bit more later on, but, you know, you get the gist. Another thing is, essentially, so this has been something that's been on my bucket list for years. Like, I've always known that I wanted to shave my head one day. And honestly, I think that it's one of those things, this is just my opinion, obviously not everyone's going to agree, I think every woman should try it, because so much of like femininity is wrapped up in the way that your hair looks, and there's also like a whole racialized aspect there, but like I wouldn't go into that. I'm white, it's not really my place. But you know, like when you cut your hair short, everyone goes, oh, it was so pretty, why'd you do that, you know? And it's like, I'm still pretty. And furthermore, being pretty isn't everything. There's more important things in the world than how pretty I am, you know? And I've gotten a bit off topic. This actually wasn't what I wanted to talk about, but it's fine, it's fine. I was going to get around to that later on anyway. Yeah, it's just something that I've wanted to do for a really, really long time, and I feel like there's never going to be a better time than now. I'm surprised that I didn't do it when I was younger. So when I was like 15 or so, I'd just come out as gay, and as it happens, I later realised, like, a year and a half later, like, oh, actually I'm bi, but it's all good. But during that time, because I was only dating girls, I was being really, really experimental with my look and my gender expression, and like, it was all so far removed from the male gaze, for the most part, as much as you can be. And it was really fun, you know, as much as I really enjoy femininity, I really liked the freedom and just feeling like, yeah, I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. And guys still liked me, which is funny. Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, I'm 23, I'm going to uni next year, if everything goes to plan, if I'm kind of like mentally well enough. And there's a lot of things that I want to try, there's a lot of things that I want to do with this time that I've carved out for myself here. And there's never going to be a better time than now. I don't want to keep putting it off. It's like, it makes sense for so many different reasons. So that's that. Yeah. One of the other big things, which I guess is kind of tied in with the whole bucket list thing, is just the feeling of like liberation, of letting go. Like, this shit feels awful, and it looks awful too. It's going to feel so good, just like, just gone, in the bin, bye-bye, bitch. Like, just feel the wind on my bald ass head. I think it's going to be really, really good. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going to regret it immediately. I have a wig. It's fine. Yeah, I think it might look cool. I think that, you know, I think girls with shaved heads look fucking sick. I think, and even like really like pretty girls, you know, like feminine girls with shaved heads. I love that contrast. I think it's so beautiful, and I think there's so many different ways to be beautiful, and I'd like to try this way. And it kind of gives me an opportunity to kind of play with my style a little bit more, like how will this impact how I dress, which is probably a good thing, because I'm hopefully going to be going to uni to study fashion next year, so it's a chance for me to kind of, you know, come out of my comfort zone a little bit and try some new stuff. Not that I necessarily have to, just that it might open up opportunities to, and it might make me feel more inclined to. So that's quite exciting. I especially think, like, the different J fashion styles that I like. I don't know if I would really class my style as J fashion, because I can't really wear, or I can't really afford to wear actual Japanese brands, and I'm also too fat. But I'm very inspired by J fashion, and I think a lot of those looks are going to be really, really cool with the buzz cut, so I'm really looking forward to giving that a go. But I digress. Another big part of it is, like, I feel like it's going to be a really good sort of test of my self-esteem, which sounds really weird. And as I was writing it down, I was like, that sounds really strange. But essentially, my self-esteem has been kind of rocky, particularly over the past couple years. It was really good for a while, and I, you know, being anxious, depressed, and having grown up kind of not being one of the pretty girls, you know, I was kind of the dumpy one. I wasn't blonde and hairless like the other girls, you know what I mean? I had a bad time of it. And so there are those like embedded little kind of, you're not good enough messages like in me. But for the most part, I know what I like to do to feel good about myself, and I understand that I am good enough, regardless of like whatever mean things my brain sometimes tells me. But I think that this is going to be a good opportunity for me to kind of strip back some of that stuff that I maybe lean on a little bit, like my hair, and kind of be forced to confront the reality of like not only what I look like but who I am, and to appreciate the beauty, the inherent beauty of my physical self, but not only that, also the inherent beauty of everything that I am and the person that I am, because at the end of the day I'm not here just to look pretty. Like, it's one tiny facet of who I am as a person. I'm also nice and passionate and I think a little funny. Yeah. Yeah. And then there's another whole other side of it where it's like, and this is going to sound a little weird possibly to anybody who maybe doesn't resonate with these things, but that's fine, because there's a possibility that no one will ever see this and it will just be for me. So if you don't understand, it's fine, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I just getting the kind of elephant out of the room. You know what I mean. I might be non-binary. I'm not sure yet. I'm still sussing it out. I didn't think I was for the longest time, for ages. I have a bunch of non-binary friends, and I was always just like, you do you, man, that's awesome. And just assumed that I was cis, like. Yeah, but kind of within the past 6 months, maybe, thereabouts, I've kind of just been wondering, like, what if I did explore that possibility? I think I was a little scared of exploring that possibility before. Because the truth is, as much as, when I did used to play with my gender expression a lot more back in the day, a lot of that was, like, weird shit that I'd internalised about, like, this is what lesbians look like, this is what girls who like girls look like, which was messed up, and, like, I never should have had to feel like that in the first place. Like, everybody should just be able to like who they like and, within reason. You know what I mean. Yeah, so that bit sucked, but I really liked sometimes being a little masculine, and I still do. I actually, it's a whole weird thing, and I don't know whether this makes me non-binary, or whether it's just, like, gender's alienating, and that doesn't make you non-binary, that's just a human experience. Gender roles are bullshit, and, they're bullshit, is what I'm trying to say. But, my femininity doesn't feel consistent. I feel like I'm saying consistent a lot in this video, but it seems as though most of certainly the straight girls around me, they all seem to, like, never, even when they're not dolled up, even when they don't have makeup on and so on, there's just a feeling of, like, I am woman. Which I guess is good. Like, I love women, and I'm a strident feminist, and, that's all awesome, but I don't know if I feel like a woman, whatever that feels like, honestly. Like, that's a whole other kettle of worms that maybe I shouldn't get into too much here, but generally speaking, I feel like I exist in a more neutral territory, and when I do have the energy, because I struggle a lot with mental illness, and also I'm not in good shape, which is a big part of why I'm taking some time off from work or education before I go to university, is to focus on my, like, health in the broadest sense possible, because, like, I'm pretty fat, and I don't have any energy the vast majority of the time, and it sucks, because there's so much that I want to do, and I want to just do everything I can to kind of boost my health and just make it so that I can do the things that I want to do. But, sorry, I've kind of went a bit off topic there, but, essentially, when I do have the energy to kind of get dressed up, put makeup on, so on, for me, it's almost akin to drag. So there's an element of gender performance there. Or not even an element, I would say it's largely gender performance. And that doesn't mean that it's fake or anything like that. It's something that I really enjoy doing and something that I have fun with and that I feel like is an integral part of who I am and what makes me happy. But it's performative nonetheless. Like, generally speaking, I don't feel like a sexy girl, whatever that feels like. I just kind of feel like me. And so, kind of, I was sort of forced to admit that to myself a bit more over the past year or so, or maybe even a little more, since my energy levels did just take a complete, like, absolute 180. Like, I wasn't super energetic to begin with, but certainly within the past year or so, it has just gone down the toilet. So I was kind of forced to sort of look at, like, who am I without the cute clothes and the coloured hair and all the rest of it? And the truth is, like, I don't really know, but that's okay. But I think that person would quite like to have a buzz cut. I think that it might look cool. I'm also aware that I am a slightly heavier set woman. Not super big, but not exactly super small either. I'm kind of on the small end of, like, plus size or whatever, which is a relatively recent development in the life of Jess. But yeah, I'm a little nervous, honestly, because I got a little cheeky double chin, and I feel like perhaps the buzz cut might highlight that, but that's okay. Like, really, who gives a fuck, honestly? And that's a big part of why I want to do this. It is just that, like, who gives a fuck? You know, I've got a great partner who's super supportive. He loves me and he recognises everything that makes me a good and attractive person, which is well for me. And the people who matter won't care, or they'll like it. People who don't matter can fuck off, you know? Yeah, I think that's just about the size of it. I've gone down the whole list. I wanted to just end on, yeah, I thought this would be a really good opportunity to do something good as well. I would have done it regardless, because I feel like for so many reasons this is the right thing for me to do right now. But it was actually my dad. I was speaking with him in the car on the way back from his on Father's Day, and I was talking about, like, my hair looks fucking shit. It faded so quickly. You know what? I'm going to shave my head. I've been thinking about it. I'm going to do it now. And he mentioned that a friend of his, or like a associate of his, had shaved his head for charity. And I was like, oh, at first I thought he meant donating the hair, and I was like, I can't do that. My hair's so porous and damaged. No one's going to want this. I don't even think I could donate it, even if I wanted to. It has to be, like, virgin hair, I believe, which my hair is definitely not. But he said no, like, phasing runs, raising funds for a cause that you care about. And I was like, that's fucking genius. That makes so much sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that. And if anything, I think it's kind of given me the nerve to go ahead with it as well, which selfishly I'm very happy about. But also, I'm really glad that I've taken this as an opportunity to, you know, do more, like, activism, which is something that I'm very passionate about and that I don't always have the energy for, but it's a big part of what drives me in life. And especially the charity that I'm donating the funds raised to, they're called Clarity. They're based in Barnstaple. They're like a sort of collective of therapists and counsellors who just help folks in the local area with counselling and with group therapy as well. So there's, like, for people who have lost family members or close friends to suicide. And there's another one, like, for people dealing with addiction, I believe. I might just want to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And yeah, just I struggle with mental illness, as I've probably repeated umpteen times in this video. And so it's something very close to my heart. I have a lot of friends who are mentally ill. Most of my generation is mentally ill, honestly. And it isn't all purely situational. Anybody can be mentally ill, but I think a big contributing factor is just the stresses of being a young person in the world today, especially, like, in the UK. I don't know about especially in the UK, but in the UK, yeah, just the price of living and fucking, university, like, debt and everything. Just, it's a lot of pressure, and not a lot of money. But, yeah, but it's really important that this organisation exists, or charity, or whatever you want to call it. I haven't personally accessed their resources. I'm very, very lucky that my dad pays for me to see a counsellor privately. I know not everyone else has that opportunity, and so what they're bringing to the local community is absolutely indispensable. It is crucial, and they help a lot of people every single week for free. They don't get any money doing it, they just do it because they want to. And certainly, especially with the NHS going down the crapper, like, waiting lists for CBT are just sky high. And even then, CBT isn't the be-all end-all of therapy. Some people need more than that. But, just those resources, they're not there. And so, the work that this charity are doing is really, 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 I cannot stress how important it is. And so that's why I decided to raise the money to give to them. So far we're on £250. I think today so we're in the last, less than 24 hours now. I think I'm gonna boost the goal to 300. I think we can make it to 300, and then anything after that's just a bonus. I'm a little hesitant. There is that little doubt, oh, do you think you can make it to 300? Maybe just say you made it to 250. Anything from here is a bonus. I'm going to sit on it for a minute, but more importantly, just, I don't know if I'm going to post this anywhere. It might just stay on my computer for me to look at, but either way, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who donated. It really, really means a lot, and I'm glad that you recognise the importance of this organisation and what they do. That's about it, really, honestly. Yeah, I guess just the very last thing I want to say is just, if I hate it, I have a wig, it's gonna be fine. Okay, I think I'm gonna sign off now. Again, don't know if I'm ever gonna post this anywhere, or if it's just gonna be for me, but I'm glad I made it regardless. I think this was probably the best way of just airing out my thoughts and having something to refer to. I've explained this several times already, it's all good. Bye.